Start recording. Okay,
Okay.
you can go.
Good morning. Good morning again, everyone. Welcome to the second webinar. Today we talk about Ubiquity, about remote controls and solutions. And as last time, I will start talking about hardware, and Simona will continue talking about software. So, next slide, please.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, originally Ubiquity was developed as a software solution, but today we can offer hardware and software as a solution. And when or why, where can you use it? Basically to do remote access, remote control of any automation, installation, equipment over the internet. And we offer today the hardware also when it's not possible to install Ubiquity as a software, or when IT guys don't want to have this kind of software on their PCs. An overview about the current router portfolio. So basically there are two families, one for remote control, we call the RM, and one for remote access we call RK series. And now we just end of last year also bring the RK20 series, which is today only possible to use for remote access. Let me explain the difference. We will see in some more slides. So RK and RM, remote access, remote monitoring. We use basically the same hardware than we use in our HMI 25, HMI 30. I think we have a slide with the processor. One moment. Yes. No, this is already the second one. Okay, in the end, these devices are similar like the HMI, but there's no display, right? So we are running on RK, RM, we are running Windows CE, and you can use the RK only for remote access. And if you want to do alarming, SMS, email, you will have to use the RM system. So basically on RK, we only have Ubiquity runtime on Windows CE, and on RM, we also have installed the premium HMI software that is needed to do the alarming, to do the SMS, and to do the email. Once again, I'd like to remind you that you can ask any question. The best way is to use the chat box, but of course you can also use the micro. One moment, let me go back. So RK10, RK11, RM10, RM11, these are basically different versions with or without modem or with or without Wi-Fi we also can offer. Then RK20 series is the newer we just released. These modules are running on Linux, which means you have no possibility to use the premium HMI software, and you cannot use these devices yet to do SMS, email, and this kind of alarming. It's basically only for remote access at the moment. This will also come during this year, I expect, when we will release the new software called UBIQUITY, and then we can also do this kind of stuff on the new routers, the RK20 series. So this was actually the slide I was looking for before, but basically I already explained more or less. So you can use these devices to make VPN connection. We also do the MPI protocol, the old CMS protocol, but today not so many people are using it anymore. More and more people go for Ethernet. And the RM series is then used, as I told. One more thing, you can also use data logging and then alarming visualizations. Since we have premium HMI, you can also use it for visualization when you do the remote access through a browser or the Premium HMI mobile software. If you have any comments, Simon, Simone, you can also, of course.
Go ahead.
So the RK20 series is using, and I think this is a mistake, must be Cortex A9, because this is the same CPU that we have on HMI 40. But the difference here is that we are working with Linux. But so you can also connect to some serial devices using Ethernet. And there is also a possibility to do the USB connection. Do you know, Simone, already possible on the RK20 series?
No, for the USB, no. We are working in the Ubiquity roadmap. We have planned to support USB, let's say, pass-through USB virtualization first on the Windows platform x86, because we have a commitment made with a customer that will use USB pass-through on Windows. And immediately after we will do for, let's say, for the RK2 devices based on Linux. We will not support the USB pass-through on the first generation because yeah, that's not technically feasible, but very complicated. So we will do only on the new series, which makes sense.
Okay, so only on the Linux-based and on the Windows 32-based systems.
Exactly. So at the end we will have on Windows 32 Linux, but no Windows CE.
Okay. Then, oops, there's another one. I think these slides had to be different, so sorry for that. Okay, what we can also offer is extended temperature. You see, the RK20 series already by default has it, but the RK10, there is an option to buy the extended temperature version.
We have got a question, sorry, look, just to respond to the chat.
Yes.
When USB support is planned, well, okay, we are still not able to make a fixed, let's say, an official statement, but we think we should have pretty soon, because the activity was, let's say, unfortunately, was started already a couple of years ago, then stopped because of some other reasons, and then started again. Actually, we expect let's say, maximum in a couple of months we should have it. Because, as I said, we have made a commitment now with the customer, and now we should really complete the job. So more or less it should be a couple of months to get USB virtualization on Windows. Later on the router devices.
Okay. So then, this is too fast. We also offer, of course, the different kind of antennas you need for 3G, LTE, and for Wi-Fi. And again, this is also similar to HMI 40, where we can offer the modem or the Wi-Fi module integrated into the device. So basically, RK is using same hardware than we have on the HMIs, and there is no display.
Yeah, exactly. So let me only add one comment to this. Maybe it's clear to everybody, but I would just like to repeat one concept. Let me go back a moment with the slide. Let me take this slide only to repeat, to be clear, what Luke said. Here on the left, you have devices that you can use just for remote assistance, and you will see now in my presentation how Ubiquity works on routers and also on HMI or IPC. Basically, if you remember what we said, we have seen on Tuesday Premium HMI. And actually, the RM devices we have made simply taking an HMI 30. We spoke Tuesday about HMI 25, HMI 30, HMI 40. The RM devices are just HMI 30 without a display. So you can do Ubiquity because Ubiquity is there. You have the two ports, and then you will see later what you can do with Ubiquity. But you can basically do everything supported, everything which is supported by premium HMI, even graphic capabilities. Because if you remember what we have said on Tuesday, I told you we have a feature called the web client. What's a web client? Web client is just the possibility to get access to the HMI application from a browser, let's say, from external. We have also seen the possibility to use a mobile app. So we have, for instance, customers who made applications where they are using RM, let's say RM10, for instance. They are making a standard remote assistance like we will see now, but additionally they built up an application into the RM10, an application made with the premium HMI Studio to make a diagnostic. So when the people, the service people comes on site, or maybe even from remote, they need to see some, let's say, some diagnostic information from the machine. They are not connecting to the standard machine HMI, which is a little poor and a small one, and not enough to make diagnostic and maintenance monitoring. They just connect to the Ubiquity RM router. They do with Ubiquity the connection, and they use the premium HMI interface, graphic interface, to check the historical data of the machine, historical arms, and everything like it is an HMI, just without the display. I just wanted to explain how a similar device could be used. Yes. Thanks to the combination between Ubiquity and Premium, even without the display.
So this means I can connect any kind of PLC or serial device here and use Premium HMI to do the polling and send out the alarms, right?
Correct. Alarms, or make even a data logger.
Data logger, yeah.
From the hardware point of view, as I said, this is a HMI 30, so inside there's plenty of memory that you can use to archive loggers in local. And we have made an integration with the Ubiquity, so that if you have such a device, in Ubiquity there's an additional item to bring up loggers locally stored to the system. I will show you during the demo how it works. Also this, I should be able to give you a demonstration also of this.
Okay, so then we can continue with the software part.
Good. So now let me take the other presentation. With Ubiquity, I would like to show you a few slides, because I like, about the architecture of Ubiquity. If you know how Ubiquity has been, let's say, designed, then you can better understand many of the Ubiquity benefits compared with competitors. So that's interesting for you also to know how it is built, how it is, let's say, the Ubiquity architecture. Let me read the question a moment. And connected to multi-PLC device. Why not? I mean, the RM devices, the question is, can we connect to multiple PLC devices using RS, so the RS, the serial connection? Well, the answer is yes, why not? I mean, the integrated serial port on the router is a multi-standard one, so it's a 232 for point-to-point, but it's a 485 and also 422. So just to answer with an example that we know it works because it has been already used. The serial port of the router could be connected to a drop line 422 where we have some drives, for instance, some inverters. It's quite common, or it was quite common. Okay, it was common to have, at least in the past, drives with serial interface 485 or 422. And then you can build up a drop line as soon as you make the RS, the serial port pass through, then you can get an access. You can have access to all the drop line, to all the devices connected to the 485 line.
Yes. So Mustafa, I think you should use only one brand of PLC on one serial port, but of course you can use one with Ethernet and then also make a gateway between this using premium HMI.
Correct. This is also one possible scenario. Did I answer? Okay, in case, just ask, additional clarification. So let me go ahead with the presentation. So this, as I said, this is a general presentation, but I would like I will share, of course, the presentation as I did with the premium. We will not go through all the slides. I'm interested only in some of them. So for instance, okay, this we have already said, because what is Ubiquity? Okay, it's a software solution to make remote assistance. And this was, and to be honest, still is, one of the most important advantages we have in comparing Ubiquity with others. Ubiquity can run, we have seen routers, of course, but everybody has routers. What the others don't have is a software solution you can install on an HMI, very cheap solution, very cheap HMI to completely make remote assistance. That's the first. So Ubiquity is then available for today Windows CE platforms, Linux we have already introduced, but because of the routers. But let's say if we are talking about HMI devices, is available for the Windows CE unit and the Windows 3264 units. Actually, let's say built-in feature for ASM HMI. So from the commercial point of view, we have been, let's say, quite smart in the past, because at the beginning, when we first introduced the HMI 30 devices, actually we were the last one in a market where everybody had HMI. So at the beginning, we have been asking ourselves why people should consider ASM in a market where today everybody has an HMI, which is, working. Today, to be honest, we have plenty of HMI solutions. We have seen that premium has some advantages, you may remember from Tuesday, but it is still an HMI software. So why people should look to ASM? Well, at the end, the answer was, and still is, because Ubiquity is integrated and free and very, very powerful, able to do many things, and let's say already integrated into the HMI system. Okay, let me talk about the architecture. So we see which kind of components we have in Ubiquity, and after that we will see them working. so you can understand, you can really see, you can get a real feeling about all of this is working together. So first, okay, that's the list of Ubiquity components. We can start from the right part because that's something that we have more or less already said. In this picture, instead of the router, I'm using here the panel. I told you the Ubiquity as a software is still a big advantage because it's a cheaper solution than router. You can install on existing system. You can have it without, adding additional hardware. In some situations, it's not possible, but in general, it's a nice solution you may consider. So here we have the panel, the small HMI, like we have seen Tuesday, but you can have a PC, you can have any device. And by the way, one additional commercial information, premium HMI is only available for ASM hardware. I didn't tell you about this on Tuesday, but if you talk with Luke, for sure, he will explain. Premium HMI is available only for ASM stuff. Ubiquity instead is something that we can use even on hardware from third parties. So you can run it on Siemens, you can run it on Beckhoff, on B&R, on any PC, and even on HMIs. We have, let's say, we have a customer in Turkey which is using Ubiquity on Beckhoff systems. Another one in Italy using Ubiquity on Siemens panels because it's a convenient solution. So let's keep the panel here. Panel has two interfaces. On the left you see internet connection. On the right you see automation subnetwork. This is the way we call the LAN here. So the panel is connected to devices via Ethernet, and on the right you see the serial devices in general. Here you have only one, but that's a conceptual picture. It's still valid what I told you before. You can connect a drop line of serial devices. So here we have Ubiquity Runtime. The first component is the software, which is installed on the panel on the PC. Actually, into the router, there's still Ubiquity Runtime because the software component is exactly the same. On the left side of the slide, you see what we called, let's say, the Ubiquity clients. And what's a Ubiquity client? The software you need to access and to use the Ubiquity services. So you have a control center. It's an application for Windows that must be installed on any PC of any technician that will need to use Ubiquity. We also have some other. Okay, one moment. Okay, sorry, I got the question. I just read the question.
Yeah.
No, for the Macintosh, for the Mac and iOS, actually no. We will probably, we will probably support a completely web-based version of Control Center. At that moment, we will not be, restricted to any operating system. So for what concern the left side here. On the right side, actually, there's no plan to support Ubiquity Runtime on Macintosh or iOS at the moment. At least at the moment. I was saying Ubiquity Control Center is a Windows application today, and thanks to the question, we can also anticipate it could be in the future, because we are already working in that direction. It could be in the future, medium term, medium-term development. It could be an application which is completely web-based, so you will be able to use a Macintosh or an iOS device for just with the browser. Even today, we already have a web app. I will show you later. It's a www.ubiquityweb.net, and with that, if you make an access to that web portal, you will connect. You will be able to use the remote desktop feature of Ubiquity. That's already a starting point for the web-based control center. But today, let's say the most complete application for using Ubiquity is a control center, which is a Windows application. And then we have also an app for Android to activate VPN on Android-based devices. So on the right, we have runtime, the field. On the left, we have the technician with the PC or the smart device, maybe with the browser. So to get everything working in the middle, we need what we call the server infrastructure. So we need something that makes the left side of this slide talking with the right side. And in the next slide, we will talk quickly about the server infrastructure. Ubiquity domain, it's actually the customer account. If you wanted to use Ubiquity, you need an account. We are calling this a domain. So you have to register. You have to, let's say, pay for a domain. There are 3 different types of domain. And let's say, okay, the first one will allow just one connection at a time. The second will support multiple connections at the same time, so you can connect. You can have let's say an unlimited number of active connections. And the third type of domain will allow you to create accounts, kind of sub-accounts for external people. If the customer is a machine builder and the machine builder is working with an external contractor for, I don't know, the cabinet, or they simply would like to give an access to externals, then they can do this with the third type of domain. But that's a commercial, let's say, commercial detail. You have to buy this once, so that's also another difference in comparing with the competitors. Ubiquity domain, you have to buy once, and then it will be available for life. Okay, so those are the Ubiquity components. Now, okay. Okay. Yes, with the browser. Luke is just saying that you can also use an Apple device using the web app. So with the website, you can test it later. I will show you how. Okay. Now, let's see how it works. You have just 3 slides to see how Ubiquity works, and then we will see the demo. The Ubiquity server infrastructure has 2 main jobs to do. So the first is the authentication. So because we are using internet and we are using let's say by definition a not secure way to connect, because internet it's a not a secure way to connect. We have to implement all the like it is done in any internet protocol, all the security to support let's say, the safe connection to our devices. The first step is the authentication. So we must be sure about who is connecting. So at first, Ubiquiti runtime, when it is installed on the HMI device, if the first time it will connect to the server, it does not have identity for the server. So the server in that moment, the very first time the device connects, it will create a digital certificate, which will be actually the identity card of the device. And this encrypted certificate will be used by the device in all the next connections to the server to identify itself. This procedure is completely automatic, completely transparent from the user point of view. You just have to make a short procedure for the registration of the device into the Ubiquiti domain, and all the rest is completely automatic. On the left side, Ubiquiti Control Center will make the authentication by connecting to the server, providing domain name, username, and password. In a couple of weeks, we will be able to release also the support for the two-factor authentication. So, from Ubiquiti Control Center, if, let's say, enabled by the Ubiquiti domain administrator, you will be able to use the two-factor authentication, username and password, plus, let's say, a code or an authorization coming from an app on the mobile, like everybody today is doing, for instance, with Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator. So the concept is exactly the same. Two-factor means something that you know and something that you have. So you know username and password, and you have an external authorization from an app. So the server is able then to authenticate, to know who is connecting, because later, after the server knows who is connecting, the server will apply rights and permissions. For what concern the connectivity requirements, here we also have a very strong point compared to others. It's extremely simple to provide connectivity to Ubiquiti. You just need outgoing connection using one of the ports you see here. And why it's simple? Because let's say, in almost every cases, at least one of those ports, let's say at least 443 and 80, is open in the outgoing connection. Pay attention, we are not asking to open any port in the incoming direction, which would be not possible at all, because the IT people will never open this kind of connection in their firewall. We are only asking to get an outgoing on one of those ports, which is normally always available. Actually, we like to say, can you connect it to Google? Yeah, okay, then Ubiquiti will work. So actually, we have no specific requirements. Ubiquiti has a built-in algorithm, heuristic algorithm, to find always the best path to connect to the server, regardless of the network infrastructure. Once the authentication is done, well, now comes let's say, the real difference with everybody else, at least for what we know today. Once the authentication is done, actually, the situation is very similar to what you do with Skype, for instance. When you connect to Skype server, you give your username and password, and Skype will show you the list of available contacts. Some of them are green because online, some of them are red because not available in that moment. And if you want to make a call, to a friend of you, which is green in the Skype list, you just have to double click. Well, in that moment, what happens? It's very similar to what we do. Okay, so let's go now again to Ubiquity. After you connect to the server, after you are authorized by the server, you see a list of available devices. Some of them green, some of them red. When you double click on one of them, you are just telling to the server, hey, I would like to talk with this device. I would like to implement what we call a secure end-to-end channel between Ubiquity Control Center and Ubiquity Runtime. So you see in this picture, there's no more server in the middle. So the Ubiquity idea is that after authentication, after the server has applied permissions, after all the certificates have been properly verified, the communication is not going anymore through that server, but we are implementing an end-to-end secure connection between Ubiquity Control Center and Ubiquity Runtime. From the logical point of view, there's nobody in the middle that does anything in the connection between the two peers. Be careful, I just want to pay attention that I am not talking about a peer-to-peer connection. In that case, it will not be possible. Again, IT people will not allow peer-to-peer. And today we cannot do peer-to-peer over internet. It's too dangerous. But we can still make an end-to-end connection. And in order to support the end-to-end connection and make IT people happy, we'll still go through what we call relay servers. And the relay servers are just, let's say, trusted peers over internet, which are simply doing ping pong, just simply copy some packets coming in and delivering immediately to out without entering in the information contents of the packet. So the traffic stays encrypted. It will simply go through a relay server, because the relay server is a known trusted point IT people will like, and after that we can say we are building up the end-to-end secure connection. So you have understood we have one, why we call it the server infrastructure, because from the server point of view, Ubiquity is using different types of servers. The first is the authentication. The second is the relay. So the authentication, we understood. Connect, username, password, runtime connect, certificate, authentication, authorization, fine. Then you make a double click. In the moment you make a double click, you build up the end-to-end connection. This phase is completely automatic, completely transparent. The customer doesn't have to set nothing about the relay server selection. The system will automatically select the system will, let me finish, then I will answer. The system will automatically select the best server which in that moment can ensure the fastest connection. And then after that, the communication will go through that server, but still stays encrypted. Let me read the question. Sometimes the customer asks about the security of relay server. There's any confirmation that the device? Well, we are just. They are server with the proper certificate, and we are using them just with the TSL protocol. So the certificate and the SSL TLS protocol is ensuring the use of this protocol is providing identity, authorization, confidentiality, and all what you need to say that peer is a trusted one. So basically, it's because we are using TLS, TSL, and SSL that those peers can be considered trusted. In addition, they have a name. If you go to the name to the Ubiquity manual, at the end of the Ubiquity manual, there's a chapter in the appendix, and we expose the name of the servers, and they are resolved by the DNS worldwide, so they are actually known points the IT people can trust even on their firewall configuration. Those servers have basically only one little job to do. Just, let's say, receive a packet and immediately deliver the packet to the destination. Because today we have 7 of them, they are geographically distributed all across the world. So, and because the selection is completely automatic, it means that in every moment at least one of them will be able to provide, let's say, the connectivity service. This kind of architecture will grant for Ubiquity scalability and service continuity. Scalability because if tomorrow we see that in a certain region the connections are slowing down because there are too many going through that server, well, we just need to install a second server in the same region, and the second server, in the moment you start the connection, will be faster to respond, so the traffic will automatically balanced moving to the second server. And this can be done, let's say, forever. We can add as many servers as we want by keeping then a scalability to infinite, let's say. Service continuity, well, today we have 7. We could have more. If one of them is down for some reasons, we have other 6. If 2 are down, we have other 5. I mean, until 7 servers are completely down, well, in that case, probably we will have more important problems than Ubiquity. It's basically impossible that 7 servers goes down at the same time. For us today, they are, let's say, mixed. Some of them they are on Amazon, some of them are in Microsoft, some others are in other farms. I mean, we are, let's say, maintaining this infrastructure at the best in order to be always state of the art for what concern performances of the servers and, of course, security. Updating the certificate, renewing the certificates to always ensure the highest possible level of security. And by the way, this infrastructure service okay, one moment, so let me, okay, I've seen the answer. I see the question. Give me a moment to answer. Let me finish. The first, in terms of papers we can give to the customer, the first is the independent certification that we have made with a German company called ProtectEM, which is releasing every major version of Ubiquity, the certificate to compatibility with the 62443 regulation. So both runtime and architecture has been certified to be compliant with this, let's say, with this regulation. For what concern the SLA, we have no official document for this. We are relying on the SLA of our suppliers. So in case you need to make a statement for a customer, we can tell you where the servers are hosted, and we will just provide to the customers the SLA declarations from our providers. That was, let's say, at company management level, we have decided to do. Okay, we have already done this for some customers, so in case anybody will need this, we will declare where servers are hosted, and we will just give you the SLA from the supplier, from our suppliers. If the customer, for some reasons, is still not going to trust us, well, then this is the solution. I mean, we have, as I said, Ubiquity is it's a product which has a cost for what concerns the router, for the runtime. It's very cheap for what concerns the domain, as I said. Altogether, we are really talking about a cheap solution. Nevertheless, we are really investing a lot on Ubiquity because we really believe this is a wonderful solution for remote assistance, and we are 100% sure about all what we do for security. The certification is a real cost that we are, let's say, sustaining every major version of Ubiquity to demonstrate what is behind. But nevertheless, we can also understand people are concerned about what ASM is doing, or maybe they like to be completely independent from this point of view. They would like to know where the server, I mean, they would like to be the master in managing the server. Then, nice, we have this nice, very good solution, private servers. I told you we have a server for authentication, servers for relay. We can sell to the customer the application servers so they can install the server wherever they want, and they can manage them by themselves. That's the perfect solution for those people who likes to get the control over scalability, security, continuity. They can deploy basically by themselves a Ubiquity infrastructure which is exactly the same as the one maintained by ASM, but completely private, completely independent from us. Even if tomorrow, for some reasons, will never happen, but you know, we have no magic ball. If for some reasons the public infrastructure of Ubiquity is switched off, all the private servers will continue to work because they are completely independent. So that's also another solution you may propose. Okay, stop with the slides, and then I would like now to show you how Ubiquity works, and so you can see in practice what we are talking about. I will just use again my virtual machine, which just because on the virtual machine I have some PLC software to demonstrate the connection to the devices. So first of all, I said, okay, Ubiquity Control Center. If you are new to Ubiquity, then you go to the website www.asm.it, and after that, oh, come on, we need internet, otherwise no Ubiquity demonstration. Of course, it was working. One moment. Let me check on the physical machine.
ASM website is slow today.
Really? It's because of ASM. Google.it. So Google works. Nice. So let me go back to the virtual machine. Google works here. Yes. So as I'm sleeping, let's try asm.it. Yeah, okay, we got it. Now, okay, let me switch to English. If you are new to Ubiquity, you just have to go to Products, Industrial Automation, Remote Assistance, and then here, by the way, you see the certificate. All the certificate, we are getting now the certificate for version 10. In a couple of days it will be online. Here you see some blah blah blah, the picture, some features, what's new, and then click on the download area to get Ubiquity software. So Control Center, you can download the Control Center and you can install it. If you want to try Ubiquity, you can do it at zero cost because Control Center costs nothing. Runtime, we can have a demo license. Ubiquity domain can be activated directly by you, and it will run full feature for 30 days. So runtime 30 days testing, domain 1 month testing. You can play with Ubiquity with let's say without spending 1 cent. If I have now Ubiquity Control Center installed on my PC, I just have to start it, and if I'm new, then I have to create a domain. I told you, if you want to work with Ubiquity, you have to create a new domain. So, domain name, I'm just creating a webinar.
So, Simona, maybe we can tell them, because most of the people here are distributors, that we can create an account in our ASM demo domain for testing if they want.
Okay.
So then they should get in touch with me, and I will.
For sure. I just would like to show them how a customer will create the domain. But after that, you're right. For all of you that would like to, I mean, when before I said you, I was thinking to an end user, to an end customer. But if you means you distributors, you will get for free an account on our ASM demo domain, and within that you will be able to do wherever you like. You can register devices, you can add other users, you can show Ubiquity to wherever people you want, you can do everything. This is just to show you how let's say, a customer of you will have to create his own domain. Okay, Simone, it's possible to install runtime on device not ASM with Linux. Today, the answer is no, just because from the technical point of view, it's absolutely not easy. So, in the future, I expect we will have, let's say, a kind of Ubiquity runtime for Linux on x86 platforms. That moment we can say, if you have this Linux distribution with this component on x86, then okay, this is Ubiquity and you can use it. If instead we are talking about ARM or embedded solutions, that's very complicated because we would need to get the toolchain to compile Ubiquity for that Linux. And this makes, even if technically still possible, let's say the cost is very high. So let me turn the answer in a question. If you get a very good customer with embedded ARM solution with Linux and they want Ubiquity, well, we can sit down and first talk about commercial and business aspects. And I mean, if it makes sense, why not? Technically speaking, it is possible. But it would be first, let's say, a commercial approach rather than technical. And this is for embedded ARM devices. x86, well, sooner or later, we will probably get a kind of standard solution, assuming the customer can say, okay, this my Linux distribution is matching your Ubiquity requirements. Okay, let me only make quickly a webinar distributors. I just make a domain like this. Password can be ASM 2019. ASM 2019. Company name is my company. And blah blah blah. Email can be, okay, I put my email. asm.it. Okay, create a domain. Yes. Okay, domain has been created. This is what just you have to do. Now login, asm 2019, connect. Perfect, you are in. You say the domain is not licensed. Okay, 30 days, but now you can play. So any customer of you can do exactly this. You are into an empty domain, and now you can start adding devices and creating folders. So that's I don't know, customer one. In customer one, you can add a device. That's the procedure I was mentioning before when I told you the very first time Ubiquity Ubiquity runtime connects to Ubiquity server. Well, the server says, who are you? I've never seen you before. So please tell me who you are. Then I can create the ID card for you, the digital certificate I mentioned before. So after that, you can connect quickly. So there's a procedure. On the device, you will see some numbers. You have to type here the numbers, and that's the registration procedure. After that, the device will automatically connect to the server and automatically listed. Now let me go out from this because I would like to use the demo. Sorry, the ASM demo domain, which is already populated. We have devices here. So I'm connecting with my account. You will get an account on ASM demo. So when you will show Ubiquity to your people or your server connection is causing? No, okay. I got a message from Skype about network problem, but looks like now is okay. Okay, so you will get an account and then you will be, I will show you how it works. Then you make a connect. I'm now an administrator of this domain, so I can basically do everything. First I see a list here, a tree, hierarchy tree. Look, it's okay. Can you? It's okay. They connect the still sharing and voice.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry. Now you get a list here of that's a tree basically. I built this tree as I wanted to, as I decided to do. Here, for instance, I'm now in the Verona office, ASM Verona office. Here I have a meeting room. In the meeting room, there are some devices. You see 3 of them are available, active. They are green icons. One is off. In this folder, we keep demo boxes. Now I will show. I have my one here, IT Simon. That's a demo box which includes a router and some panels. You see them, all of them are online. Let me show a picture of this so you understand what I'm talking about. So okay, this is the demo box. That's a box with some wheels behind, quite heavy, and we go to customers to show Ubiquity using this. You see, we have a router, we have some I/O. It's a multi-purpose demo box. We can present to customers a lot of things while using this PLC panel, premium codices, Ubiquity. So actually, in the demonstration today, we will connect to this panel. It's an HMI 40. It's running a premium HMI project, and of course Ubiquity is in. And this panel is connected to this Siemens controller you see here. It's a 12,000 Siemens PLC. And we
1200.
Sorry?
It's a 1200 that nobody's using, but...
Wow, really?
Okay.
In Italy, it's very...
No, it's very popular. It's just joking.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get you. Okay. So, and this will be the one we will use. But for instance, here we have an Omron controller connected via serial line to the panel. So the panel has a premium HMI project with the two protocols, one for Siemens, one for Omron, and we would be able also to demonstrate Omron connectivity with the CX programmer. I don't have it today, but I mean, that's to show you the environment. And this router, today, we will not use the router, we will just connect it to the panel. But the router in this configuration is used to provide internet connectivity. So Ubiquity routers can be also used to provide internet to a subnetwork. But okay, this is advanced stuff. For the moment, I don't want to confuse you. Let's say the panel connects to internet and the panel is connected to Siemens. Well, okay, no, sorry, this is too complicated. Let me go back to my control center. So we have our HMI 40, okay, forget the rest for the moment. And behind the HMI 40, you have seen in the picture, there's the Siemens controller. So now when I do double click on the HMI 40, I'm just saying to the server, hey, I would like to connect to my device on field. And okay, that's the first view is the remote desktop. So this is something that I didn't tell you in the presentation, but that's important. Why Ubiquity is nice when running on an HMI or running on a PC? Well, because if you wanted to make assistance on that PC and on the remote, on the subnetwork, Ubiquity will do everything you need. Because for the subnetwork, we will do the VPN. Well, everybody is doing VPN. Maybe Ubiquity VPN is, let's say, special. I will tell you why we think it is special. But actually, because Ubiquity is installed on the panel, we can also support let's say the connection to the panel itself. So remote desktop. Here we can play with the project. We can see what people are, what customers are doing in front of the panel. And one moment, let me see if I can show you. Okay, so now I just went to the panel and changed some sliders, and I see, the system reacting. So it's one-to-one, like a VNC connection. Then we have here processes. That's a task manager. Assuming you get a problem with premium HMI, then you can go here and say kill. So that's a task manager of the processes running on the remote device. You can even reboot. If you got a problem with the panel, you just click reboot. We can try, and the system will restart automatically. Then we have Explorer. What's Explorer? File transfer. Maybe I have here on, I don't know, what is this? Okay, I just need this file. So I'm just clicking on the file, receive. I can read, write, delete. That's a file manager. You can use it to work on the remote file system. MMC, one moment. Okay, I see the question. Let me, for instance, MMC is the memory where the premium HMI is stored. And also here, somewhere, we should have a project demo. That's the application. So if you need a data logger, you can go there and get the data logger file. So, file manager. Let me read the question. Do you plan to provide the non-synchronized remote? Well, at the moment, no. We are not planning this. So, on purpose is synchronized. If you need an asynchronous session, then the answer is, well, why don't you use the web client from Premium HMI? So the web client is the asynchronous session. You can do whatever you want from remote, regardless of what the panel and the local operator is doing. If instead you want to make assistance, then you take the control of the system and then you are using Ubiquity Remote Desktop. So that's the way we are seeing now. Using the Premium HMI web client, you cannot go to WinCA Desktop. I'm not sure I got the question because Premium HMI web client works
you cannot
Windows C.
Yes, but you cannot go to Windows. That's what he's meaning.
To the Windows C desktop. Okay. Yeah, but okay, I understood what you mean. But if you wanted to do this, then you need much more than Windows C. Okay, let me explain. You need a Windows server. If Ubiquity is installed on a Windows server, then of course you can connect to a user session. We support connection via RDP to any of the opened user sessions on a Windows server. And that can be done regardless of what local users are doing, of what other users are doing. But this needs Windows Server on remote. On Windows CE, we cannot do this because of a limitation of the operating system. You cannot make any change in the system. No, I mean HMI panel. Well, maybe this is something that we can discuss. But actually, on Windows CE, we cannot have an asynchronous remote desktop session. That's because there's no a server which is able to support this. If Ubiquity is instead installed on a Windows server, that's possible. We can connect to every single user sessions which is opened on the Windows server. We need to make a remote service and we do not want the customer to see what we are doing. Okay, this today is not possible. We are not supporting this scenario. And to be really honest, I'm not sure this would be a solution we could certify. Because as far as I can remember, the security, I mean the people who did the audit explained us that there must be kind of acknowledge from remote that you are in. So actually, when we know customers are keeping Ubiquity not connected and they just connect to say, okay, I agree, you come in. Well, so there are also some other aspects, but we will go deeply into this argument. I will also, let's say, get some additional information by myself, and then we can talk again back on this. Okay, now consider one aspect. Until now, I never spoke about VPN. So in this moment, I am connected. So Ubiquity Control Center is connected to the remote device, but I'm only using the famous end-to-end channel. So I'm just talking with my partner, which is Ubiquity Runtime, on the other side of the world, just because I built up a channel, secure, safe channel, and I'm talking to it. I didn't need VPN until now. VPN is needed when? Well, when I need to connect to some devices behind my panel. So, you remember the picture? The panel has connected a Siemens controller. Siemens controller is, now we don't remember what, but let's see, connect. So now VPN is going to be activated. Let me go to desktop. I would like to show you. Let me close the premium. I don't need any more now. Premium. So this is the desktop of my panel. So start, settings, network. So here you have two network interfaces. You remember my picture? This network interface is the one from where the panel gets internet. Well, now it's a fixed IP address just because we wanted a fixed IP address in our local network. So the DNS, this is the interface from where the panel gets internet. And this one is the interface from where the panel is connected to the automation subnetwork. So the panel is 10.0.1.1, and what is behind? Let's go back to VPN. Okay, now VPN is on. Behind there's a subnetwork of devices 10.0.1 something. By the way, let me show you my PC settings. Okay. In my PC settings, you see Ubiquity VPN, that's a virtual adapter. And because of the VPN activated, the virtual adapter got an IP address, which is a real one. It's not a virtual, like you sometimes see in others. It's a real IP address, which is compatible with the remote subnetwork. This means that you don't have to change anything in your PLC programming software. It's like you are connected with the Ethernet cable to the machine switch. Ubiquity VPN, from this point of view, it's a really special one compared to others. Of course, we cannot know 101% because others are also, let's say, continuously developing. But as far as we know, at our best knowledge, today we are, one of the few to support the so-called level 2 VPN. In simple words, our VPN is fully compatible with any kind of industrial protocol, making the VPN connection really equivalent to a cable connection to the remote switch. To demonstrate this, we could take a non-IP protocol like Profinet. Profinet is a not IP protocol, it's an Ethernet protocol but not IP, and Profinet works perfectly across the Ubiquity VPN just because of this feature I told you. That's a very technical stuff. We can, let's say, go deeper into, but for the moment, it's enough that we see, for instance, TIA portal. It's a Siemens TIA portal. If I click on the accessible devices and ask TIA portal to make a scan connecting to the Ubiquiti Ethernet virtual adapter search, TIA portal will scan the remote network and will find, oh wow, yeah, the PLC. Okay, we have just one device now. So TIA portal found, using the discovery protocol, which is absolutely not an IP protocol, it's a Profinet protocol, found a device on the remote network. By the way, it could found devices even if they don't have IP address assigned. That's because of what I told you, the equivalence of our VPN to a cable connection. Well, now I'm connected, so I can do everything. I can go online. I don't have a license of Siemens TIA portal, so I cannot show you live mode. If I try to open the program block, we'll get a message. I have no license installed, but actually we are online. You see the system. Okay, we have no license, so I cannot show you the debug mode of the Siemens, but actually we are now online. We could do exactly the same as we were directly connected to the system. Well, okay, now I'm done. Let's say I'm finito here. I close, go offline. By the way, sorry, no, let me go online again. And I would like to show you here. There's a nice thing. So VPN traffic details. So you know who is talking to what, how much bandwidth is used. So which kind of protocols are used. So that's nice to see how VPN channel is used. And this is advanced stuff, but I just give you this as a message. Here you have the possibility to configure firewall policies. So I told you, once the VPN is connected, you have a complete visibility. So you can access to any device which is connected on the remote subnetwork. Really, like you have the cable there. But you may like to restrict this, let's say, wide range of accessible IP addresses. So you have a very powerful firewall you can enable to filter what is going across over the VPN. And the firewall will really help you to implement very complex scenarios of, let's say, filtering the traffic across the VPN. This could be additional security. So, for instance, you can say, well, this user does not need to get access to the PLC. I don't want him to play with the 10.01.10 because it's dangerous. I don't want him to change nothing on the PLC. So I will filter that IP using the firewall when that user connects. So, I mean, this is maybe something that we could see in a separated session, but the message is we have the VPN. VPN brings you complete visibility of everything. From the complete visibility, you can restrict using firewall. So far, so good. Let's say we are done. By the way, serial. Okay, serial is remote COM1 mapped to local virtual COM10. Okay, when you do connect. Now, if I have a device connected to the panel COM1 and I wanted to communicate with that device, I just need to start my programming software here, connect my programming software to COM10, all the traffic will be mapped to the physical remote serial port. That's the way serial port works. Serial port pass-through works. Okay, now let's say I'm done, finito, close the VPN. Maybe, I would like just to do a chat with the remote operator, because this is useful for me to show you the last point. So, hey, so, are you there? Okay, okay, yes, ready. Okay, I'm just answering to myself. Okay, why you are using chat? Okay, first to show you there's a chat, but second to show you now a nice stuff, which is audit. By the way, before audit, I forgot before, domain. Well, this is a tree, good. This is that's a table view of the same devices, very analytic. You can order by status, okay? You can order by name. You can filter, I don't know, all the devices called with Alessio, okay? That's a very nice way of browsing devices in a table view. Plus, we have a map. So we have a map view with geolocalization of devices. That's based on the, let's say, public IP address from where the devices are getting internet. So it's subject to some errors depending on the IP localization. But at least it's nice to get an idea. If you like, you can still take a panel and assign a real address. So for instance, this is in Verona, and you can say Via Tolomeo, Via Tolomeo, Verona. Okay, that's the place where we have our office. So you can fix the location so you can have a reference. Okay, sure, we can connect. Okay, of course. Yes, thanks, Luke, for this. That will be the last thing I will show you. Let me close with audit now, and then we will see the multiple connection. What is audit? Audit, it's a nice, let's say, help to know who did what and when. So we have two levels of audit. One is for the administration, one is for connections. Administration is everything related to the domain. So when you do query, you see who did what with your account. For instance, now, well, I changed the location of a panel to Via Tolomeo, Verona. Luke did a login. This guy added a device to this folder. So the message is you have a complete analytic, let's say, report of any action. You can filter by all the supported actions traced at a domain level. This is extremely powerful. As far as we know, nobody else has this for what concern the domain. This means when you are talking about industrial, security is a must. To know who did what, it's for sure very, very and extremely important. That's for the administration. But of course, we can also see connections. So connections, okay, starting the 1st of February, nice. Query. Now you see here who was connected to what. So look meanwhile played with the device. Okay, this is my connection, 18 minutes. If I double click, well, oh, that's interesting. I have a list of actions done during the connections. So you see, started the remote desktop. I can also see I have read a file. If I deleted a file, it was, I can find it in this list. So I really know who was the bad guy who removed the recipe file from the panel. VPN session started. Profinet protocol used over this MAC address. I told you Profinet, this was the discovery session. TCP protocol on port 102, there was a communication. This one also, TCP on port 7777, TIA portal communication with the PLC. Record of the chat. Are you there? So chat are recorded. You told me to switch off that. I did it. No, I didn't tell you. Well, it is written in the chat. So security means also this, to know what was done and when by who. Okay, last but not least, because Luke asked, so now I can show you multiple connections. So for instance, I can connect to, well, okay, let me connect to this panel. That's another one we have in meeting room. And now, for instance, okay, let's see. Connection is, that's the moment, the time you see between my double click and the time in which the screen appears is the time when we select the best server available for the fastest connections. So you see, customer, you already forgot about the architecture, and that's correct. You don't have to know nothing. Everything will work very smoothly, very easily. Now I can take my browser. Okay. Now I'm traveling, let's say. I do www.ubiquityweb.net. Let's see if everything works here on this very, very, very old Explorer. So domain will be Asendemo. Username still my one. Password, of course, the same. Connect. Oh, wrong. Sorry. I have to do it again. Okay, let me 1 second. Let me keep the virtual machine here for a moment and let me try with a decent browser. ubiquityweb.net, domain Asendemo. Okay, now the password is saved. Okay, so I don't know why that one was not working, but this is what I wanted to show you. So this is a device with the control center and the remote desktop connection. This is my browser. Now I would like to connect, for instance, to the same device. And from the browser now, I will, let's say, share. I will connect it to the same desktop. Okay, now it's synchronized, as we said. Okay, that's if I change a page. So now you see, I just clicked on one button, and I'm just playing with the project from the browser, and the control center on the other side gets synchronized. It's a little bit faster, you have seen. so Control Center is faster than browser, but actually we are, let's say, now two clients, my browser and Control Center, both connected to the same runtime. Okay, Luke is writing. Tell me, Luke. I believe I am almost done. If there's anything exactly, so we have a connection. Now we have two users, one traveling, one in the office, both connected to the same device. But if I am here, okay, and now I want to connect to, again, let's say my HMI 40, nice. Then now I have one connection to one panel, one connection to another one, and another guy traveling, connecting to this one as well. So I have one to many, many to one. No limitations. There are no limitation in the number of concurrent connections, and no limitation to the traffic you do across the connection.
Okay.
Well, I think we have seen basically everything about, I mean, at least the standard functionalities. I told you about some advanced approaches, like, for instance, a firewall, permissions. In the domain here, we didn't talk about users, but for instance, here you have. What I will do, for instance, now for each of you, according to Luke, I will do, let's say. Here we have a folder called distributors. Distributors. Here you have a list of people. I make a new folder for everybody. For each of you, new distributor. And then inside the new distributor, I will create a user, which is distributor admin. I assign a password that will be changed later, as I can force the user to change the password at first login for security reasons. Okay, and now this user, I can say, okay, in the new distributor, where is my distributor admin? Okay, distributor admin is an admin of this local folder. So the idea is now log out as a demo. Okay, distributor admin, password as in 2019. Voila, I see my folder. I see only what I have to see. I can play, I can do whatever I want, adding devices, adding users, and I'm completely independent from all the rest. So that's a very complete user management, also for what concern the permissions and restrictions of accesses. So everybody can be profiled, so they can see only what they have to see.
Yeah, please contact me if you want to have an account for this. Thank you. Okay, I think you can stop recording now.
Yes, I don't know how to stop. Yes.